Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday, the 25th of Muharram 1446, corresponding with the English date 1st of August 2024. Now Hazrat Wala, speaking about the kitab that he has in front of him, At-Tanweer, he says this is a very Islahi kitab. Reformation, rectification, rehabilitation, that's this kitab. For many years on end, I've been reading out articles from here to you. And these topics, discussions and articles are of such a nature that it deserves to be passed on and read over and over again, repeatedly. However, together with that, there must be some type of niyat to make amal. Okay. So now here, Sheikh Ibn Ata Iskandari rahimahullah ta'ala is saying that wasma' ma qala Sheikh Abu al-Hasan rahimahullah. Listen carefully to what Sheikh Abu al-Hasan rahimahullah ta'ala has to say. And he goes on to quote that ईमान वालों की ताज़ीम कर अगरचे वो आसी फासिक हो और उनको नेक बात बतला और बुरी बात से मना कर और उनसे मिलना अगर छोड़े तो वो भी शफकत से हो न अपनी बड़ाई जतलाने को. So he says very beautifully, akrimil mu'minin wa in kanu usatan fasiqin, that honor the believers even though they may be disobedient and open sinners. Command them to do good, prohibit them from the wrong and evil, and separate from them on a basis of love and compassion towards them, not on a basis of having an holier than thou attitude towards them, apne barai jatlane ke liye. So here, Hazrat Wala is saying, no matter how insignificant and lowly a believer is, we learn from this year that the mere fact that he has Iman in his heart, it is enough for us, because greater than that there is no treasure and no wealth. Respect him because on the basis of his Iman. Mu'min hona khud उसके काबिल ताज़ीम होने की दलील है. Just on the basis of him being a Muslim, a mu'min, it is enough for us, that meaning it is enough a proof for us that he deserves to be honored and respected. And together with that, Iman, Iman is such a thing, it is of such a great nature. Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with Iman. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of retaining it, keeping it, looking after it. Okay, let's continue. So here, Sheikh Ibn Ata rahimahullah ta'ala an is saying, لو كشف عن نور المؤمن لو كشف عن نور المؤمن العاصي لطبق ما بين السماء والأرض فما ظنك بنور المؤمن المطيع. He says, if the nur of a disobedient believer has to open up to us, it will be so magnificent, it will be so enormous, it will be so much that it will fill the entire atmosphere between the heavens and the earth. If this is the case of a disbelieving, if this is the case of a disobedient believer, فَمَا ظَنُّكَ, then what's your take? What's your opinion? What do you really think will be the capacity of the nur of a obedient believer? Allahu Akbar. وَيَكْفِيكَ فِي تَعْظِيمِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا عَنِ اللَّهِ غَافِلِينَ. And it suffices that you respect the believing people, even though they are negligent regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What suffices? What will suffice for you to give you this great lesson that you should give honor and respect to the believing people even though they are negligent regarding Allah? Just one ayat of the Quran, keep it in front of you. قَوْلُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, the statement of the Rabb of all the worlds. ثُمَّ أَوْرَثْنَا الْكِتَابَ الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَيْنَا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. Thereafter we made inheritors of the book, of the kitab, of the Quran. Who did we make? Allah is saying that we made inheritors of the book. Who did we make inheritors of the book? Those whom we chose from our servants. الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَيْنَا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. Thereafter Allah Ta'ala says, فَمِنْهُمْ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ, from amongst them are those who have wronged themselves. وَمِنْهُمْ مُقْتَصِدٌ, and from amongst them are those who are in between. They are doing wrong, and together with that they try to do good as well. وَمِنْهُمْ سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, and there is that category as well of people that have surpassed in goodness, in khairat, with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now look and understand carefully how Allah Ta'ala established for them al-istifa'iyah. How Allah Ta'ala has established for them by means of this ayat. It speaks volumes about the istifa'iyah, that how Allah Ta'ala has chosen them despite them wronging themselves, despite their sins, despite their oppression and wronging themselves. And Allah Ta'ala did not make their wrong, their misdoings, their oppression a means of taking them out of His chosen ones. Neither did He take them out of the category of them being the inheritors of His kitab. Rather, He chose them only on the basis of their iman, even though they are wronging themselves because of the presence of disobedience and sins. For Subhan al-Wasi' al-Rahmah al-Azim al-Minna, glory be to Allah who is so great, who is so vast in His mercy, who is so great in His favor. Now, know well, wa'lam, that أنه لا بد في مملكته من عباد هم نصيب الحلم, that there is most definitely and necessary this year that in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there are those servants that for whom will be the portion of tolerance and the manifestation of His rahmat and His maghfirat, and the whole theme and department of shafa'at and intercession. So understand what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned. وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَوْ لَمْ تُذْنِبُوا لَذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِكُمْ. That listen, if you do not sin, I take a qasam in that zat and being in whose control my life is. If you do not sin, Allah will destroy you. وَجَاءَ بِقَوْمٍ يُذْنِبُونَ, Allah will bring such a people that will commit sin. فَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهِ فَيَغْفِرُ لَهُمْ, then they would seek forgiveness of Allah and Allah will forgive them. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned, وَشَفَاعَتِي لِأَهْلِ الْكَبَائِرِ مِنْ أُمَّتِي, that my intercession is for those individuals in my ummah who are perpetrators of the kaba'ir, the major sins. Now, if we just look at this year, what we just went through now, Hazrat Wala is saying that if this is the fadl, the grace and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon sinners, अब शर्म के मारे हमको गुनाह छोड़ना चाहिए कि नहीं? Now tell me, out of being ashamed, if this is the mercy of Allah on the sinful believers, then should we not feel ashamed of ourselves and should we not abandon sins? This is a fantastic kitab, a tremendous kitab, a very great kitab. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah said to Hazrat Tanvi, Ashraf Ali, translate this kitab, it will be proved to be very, very beneficial. Nevertheless, he would take portions every day and translate it and thereafter come and read it out to Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, who would then add his remarks or make some changes here and there. All of this here took place in Makkah Mukarramah. I had the Urdu with me, and when we went to Makkah Mukarramah, I sent my people into the bazaars to go and look for this, and they came back at about 2 a.m. saying that they had found this particular kitab and this book. You know what? We also thought here to ourselves that we will redo the Urdu and maybe do this or that or the other. But where would our tarjuma be in front of the tarjuma of Hazrat Tanvi? You know, if you read this 10 times over, still you would take benefit from this. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat. Rabb ki itaat karne ki tawfiq de. Give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of obeying Him. So here in the Faida, Hazrat Tanvi is saying, from these ahadith, we learn about the vast mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the wisdom behind this whole thing, that how does disobedience come into place? What is the philosophy behind that Allah Ta'ala wants that to happen in His system? And if not, He would destroy those people and then create such a people that would commit sin and they would be forgiven. So we learn the hikmat of that also from these ahadith. Now, on the other hand, Allah forbid, no person should think in this manner that Allah and His Rasul would become happy by one committing sins. Hazrat Tanvi used to also go on to say that, listen, when you committed the sin, don't wait for the night. You don't know what the condition at night would be. Don't wait for the time of the Hajjud Salat. At least immediately from your heart say, Astaghfirullah. So many people have surpassed in doing the good deeds. وَمِنْهُمْ سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, like the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. Therefore, at no point in time should we ever become hopeless of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, on the basis of these people committing sins, Allah did not establish them as His enemy. Rather, He established them as His chosen ones and He made them the inheritors of His book. Therefore, you also stop in your tracks from committing sins. Allah has given you that aqal, that intelligence, that intellect. Use it and stop yourself from committing sins. A person came to Sheikh Abul Hasan rahimahullah ta'ala and said, "Oh my master, last night I can't tell you what happened in my neighborhood. Such evils were perpetrated, min al-munkarat, kaita wa kaita. وظهر من ذلك الرجل استغراب أن يكون هذا." And this became apparent from this person's dialogue and conversation that he understood this year to be absolutely far-fetched, impossible, and he found it to be absolutely strange. So the Shaykh said to him, "Ya hada, O certain person, كأنك تريد ألا يعصى الله في مملكته." It is as if you are actually intending this year, or you've got this concept in your mind that Allah should not be disobeyed in his kingdom. Man ahabba Allah yu'sallahu fi mamlakatihi, the person who actually wants this type of thing, that Allah should never ever be disobeyed in his kingdom. فَقَدْ أَحَبَّ أَلَّا تَظْهَرَ مَغْفِرَتُهُ, then he's actually translating this whole thing and putting forward this type of a concept that he does not want Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness to become manifest. وَأَلَّا تَكُونَ شَفَاعَةُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ, and that the shafa'at and the intercession of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not become manifest. Khair. Hazrat Wala is quoting an incident. He says that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to relate this to us so much. He heard it from Hazrat Tanvi, and the incident goes on like this. This person came to this Pir and to the Sheikh, and he says to him that I have become a shaitan. So the Sheikh then uttered and replied, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. This person, on the reaction and the remark of the Sheikh, left from there, ran and smashed his head onto the wall, which actually led to his death. Now Hazrat Tanvi went on to say that na haq is आदमी ने एक आदमी का जान ले लिया. Without any reason, this person actually took the life of a person, meaning that he should have given another answer. He should rather have given the answer in this manner, that shaitan is also Allah. Shaitan also belongs to Allah. Shaitan also is the creation of Allah. That qabz, that low spiritual state of being withheld, withdrawn, you're on a spiritual low, etc., would have changed, and he would have come out of that bubble, and he would have come out into bust, where he would have felt better, open-hearted, and he would have felt on a spiritual high. Many people in this time and age are involved in so much of doubts, due to which they wash their iman away, and especially in this day and age. The dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma a'tini imanan la yartaddu. Oh Allah, bestow me with such iman, such iman after which there is no apostasy. وَيَقِينًا لَيْسَ بَعْدَهُ كُفْرٌ وَرَحْمَةً نَنَالُ بِهَا شَرْفَ كَرَامَتِكَ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. There was a person, he was sitting, and he sees this tree in front of him, and this bird is actually teasing him, looking at him and doing this and doing that. He could not understand for the life of himself that what is going on here. He went to his sheikh or to an arif, and he asked and related all of this here. This sheikh went on to say that it appears that you have become apostate and you have left the fold of Islam. Iman bahut bari daulat. Iman is a very great treasure and a wealth. Therefore, we should protect it and look after it. We should protect ourselves from going to sit in such places which would be the means of our iman being snatched away. We should protect ourselves from reading the kitabs of such people due to which our iman may be snatched away. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. The Muslims are pareshan and they are restless. Allah Ta'ala, out of His grace and His mercy, bless everybody with afiyat and protect us from these trials, tests and tribulations. وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.